confirmed in Conway.
Yeah, Ian Klein is live in Conway. And Ian, where exactly are you? And show us what's going on. PD Electric Cooperative says there are not any outages at this time, and Duke Energy Progress says it has 2,400 customers without power in the entire state of South Carolina and 6,100 in North Carolina. I do want to point out, I did just get a tweet from Ori Electric Cooperative that was reminding everyone that this is not over yet, and if you do lose power, to not report it by calling 911 or by social media, that the best way to do so is by calling your electric company provider. There's also mobile apps and things that are available on your phone to report those outages.
All right, Patrick, and we'll continue to step back with you, enjoying to see what happens with that Jeep. It's interesting to see how it's turned so much. He was talking about the degrees that it has turned. Question is it going to go back into the water?
Right, is it going to go out? I think it's going to go out inland.
Do you?
What do you think? It's going to be pushed.
I think it's going to be very interesting to continue to watch it and see.
That's what we've been saying is, you know, when we have these big storms, we have the storm surge issues, but we've never had something tangible like a Jeep, something as big as a Jeep. That we can watch see the power of it.
Kind of like the Waffle House Index. We said this is like an unscientific. Kate Merriman reporting live for us there in North Myrtle Beach. That's very similar to the area where you were during Matthew.
And some other tropical storms. It's almost, unfortunately, like deja vu there. She was talking about the North Myrtle Beach beach access under that blue archway there. When you come right into town, she was showing us the storm surge there, which is just going to get worse. And it usually comes through that walkway where it becomes almost like a canal. Very rough with water there. Main Street usually floods. It was up to like our mid-shin back in Hurricane Matthew. Yeah. And you remember going there after the Cherry Grove fire, how everything was flooded afterwards.
That's right, we covered.
All right, and Christina just showed us the canals there. You know, they finished that dredging project right after Hurricane Matthew, which made a big difference. Like I just said a minute ago, I'm having flashbacks here to Hurricane Matthew. The same thing happened. That water went right over those canals. Since then, they've done that dredging project, and it's still overflowing.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, thanks, Ian. And now we're going to get to what we were about to say a minute ago. This just in now, about 15 minutes ago, as of 1:55, Georgetown County Fire and EMS has suspended service to the entire county until wind speeds go down to a safer level for crews to respond.
But they are reiterating that if you are experiencing...
Turn around, don't drown truly is saying that will save lives, and Governor Cooper is set to give another briefing from the state's capital at 4 o'clock.
And we'll be sure to bring that to you live.
And we'll keep you updated in North Myrtle Beach. And I can tell you from past experience, especially in Hurricane Matthew with storm surge like this, that water is going to keep going up through that little pathway that you have right under the archway at North Myrtle Beach. That water just goes right through there. It turns into this little canal, and that little parking lot there gets flooded just like Main Street does.
Yeah, and you can see an indicator what's going on in Georgetown right now is of our continuous Hurricane Dorian coverage.
And at this hour, a little after 1:30 now, it is high tide. Let's take a look at all of our beach live shots that are available right now. Patrick Lloyd still live with that Jeep that has become a marker for Hurricane Dorian.
Yeah, we're watching that water continue to... Welcome back to WMBF News continuous coverage of Hurricane Dorian, and Meredith Helline joins me now.
I'm here now.
And we are going back to a story we've been covering all morning long.
We've been following it all morning, and I've been in the back for a few hours getting some content. And one of my friends actually sent me in this video of this red Jeep that someone must have been driving on the beach today. Well, they didn't get it off the beach. Patrick Lloyd live now in Myrtle Beach between 37 and 36 Avenues with an update at where this water is letting this Jeep become quite the commodity.
Patrick, what's the situation?
Yeah, this is really one of the most... Sorry about that. Yeah, Eric, this is one of the most interesting situations.
Stay indoors and watch, because in just a moment things can change.
And that's why it's important for people that are outside of these evacuation zones, like evacuation zone A was the only one where people were forced to evacuate. But it's not just a storm surge situation, it's the wind and the rain, and that's what you really have to think about when you live in places away from the beach, as we're seeing right here.
Yeah, water is the biggest problem, we've been told.
I want to talk about the Waffle House Index. We've been talking about it. We've mentioned it before. It's a way that officials can kind of help. It's an unofficial way.
Non-scientific gauge,
a non-scientific gauge of measuring how seriously people are taking this storm. Our area Waffle Houses are open. Here's the one right around the corner from the station. It was packed this morning.
And the thought is that Waffle House kind of is a determination of just how bad the storm is going to be, because Waffle House, as you know, never closes. If it does in fact close, though, then you're probably looking at what's going to be a very strong storm.
Yes, you need to get out of there. They say, I think the unofficial motto is last to close, first to open, and the one right around the corner from our station is one of those. We actually had them for breakfast today.
So they are
They
still
opened up for
so,
us.
Yeah, let's hope that stays.
That can be our motto too. Last to open, or last to close, first to open.
I think just always open, probably. All right, let's take you to Glens Bay Road. You were driving in earlier today, experienced some of that wind and rain.
I did. I do live in the South Strand and hit that coming in. Now, this viewer says that they heard a loud bang and then a bunch of debris flew off the roof. You can see some of it coming down there. Of course, one thing I've experienced in taking videos and doing this job, it's always more intense in person than the video actually shows.
Oh, absolutely.
I always believe that. So I'm sure this was very windy. The viewer also said you could hear that wind howling. This was around the time too when we were getting the tornadoes in Little River. We had the tornado warnings going on, and I also know from being very familiar with this area, a bunch of construction is going on behind those townhomes there on Glens Bay Road. They just cleared out a bunch of trees, and apparently there's a bunch of ponding going on there now where that construction is going on. So hopefully that stays out of those people's homes who haven't had problems with flooding before.
It could be because a lot of that construction is going on. They're taking down trees. There's a lot of loose debris there. That's why we always say it's a good idea to take those loose trees or trees that are about to come down or you think could be hanging over your neighbor's house. Take them down as you're preparing for the storm, because this is a situation that can occur if you don't. You see all those leaves and limbs flying around, and that's just, I mean, that's just asking for problems.
Let's get back to the storm surge now. Another popular topic today is that Jeep. You can see that storm surge coming in even more so than we just talked to Patrick Lloyd, who is there right now, and thankfully there are no more people on the beach, it seems, from there.
Finally, they have taken heed of the warnings and left, which is great news because we have watched the water rise around that Jeep. When we first went to that shot about an hour and a half ago, it was at the bottom. You could see the tires. You don't see those wheels anymore. Now you see the water rising almost halfway up from the bottom of the top of the ocean up into the middle of that SUV. So now it's definitely rising at a pretty rapid rate, and we know that high tide is right around 1:30 today, so that's only going to make things worse.
Right around the corner, and unfortunately for those people who own that car, but it's kind of helped us out on judging how deep that water's getting.
Yeah, that's our unscientific gauge of how high the water is rising. Right?
Exactly, right there. We'll keep going back to that Jeep. Now we're going to go to some video of some down power lines. We know that there's power out in various places. Lights are out. I know lights were out at Glens Bay Road this morning. This is near highways 501 and 544 where they meet near Conway. You can see that on the right side of your screen. There's some ponding going on the side of the road in the parking lot. And again, power lines down there, which I'm sure are contributing to some of the power outages that we are seeing. I actually have a Santee Cooper map pulled up right now. There's 3 outages going on right now so far that's been documented by Santee Cooper in the Conway area, but those 3 outages is contributing to 122 customers affected. So that's just some of the outages.
Actually an improvement from earlier, because around 9:15 this morning we had as many as 7,000 customers without power with Ori Electric. We had about 5,500 with Santee Cooper, and we had about 7,000 as well with Duke Energy. So hopefully those situations are improving. But back to those power lines, that's another example of why officials are so adamant. We're so adamant that you stay indoors because those power lines can come down at a moment's notice. Want to switch gear? Oh, I wanted to talk about that turtle.
I know, we want to talk about that turtle. We have a whole bunch of things we want to talk about here. That was from WMBF News reporter Kate Merriman. That doesn't happen every day. This turtle, I guess, got a little curious, wanted to see what was going on.
You can't help but think that turtle is just saying, what happened? Where am I?
I know. I wish we could talk to our resident Myrtle Beach State Park contact right now, because I'm pretty sure that this is a rare turtle. I don't think that's just your average green sea turtle, but I am not qualified to make that judgment, but we will get back to you on that.
I will say, though, that Kate was saying that a lot of people were saying they were seeing a lot of turtles up on the beach. Yeah, so it may be a situation that this is what happens when the hurricane comes. Say that one more time, Rashawn, my producer.
We are going to move on from the turtles. We're going to talk about some damage at the retreat in Little River. We're going to pull that video up for you. There's a neighborhood right there. Oh, we've talked about that. We had a tree come down. One of many trees that has come down. That's a pretty good sized tree that does look like it thankfully missed that house.
Yeah, but just
they're out, they will be caught, they will be arrested, and they will go to jail.
And we heard from him several times throughout the governor's news conferences this week ahead of Hurricane Dorian, and that message has stayed the same, that they are protecting the homes of everyone, but especially the people that have evacuated.
Let's go now to WMBF News alum Caitlin Stansel, who is in Georgetown now. She's on Front Street.
She's in Georgetown, I think on Front Street, where she's seeing some flooding there. Caitlin. All right, and talking about all this wind and rain now, there's no doubt outages going on. There's a bunch of people, 325 customers without power in Surfside Beach where Sean was. We have 44 customers without power in Garden City and 105 in Murrells Inlet right now.
And Georgetown County is suspending emergency rescue service. You don't want to end this situation with the ticket, right? Stay at home.
No,
We'll keep you covered.
absolutely not. And he says the water keeps getting higher and higher. Well, every time we go to that Patrick, those waves keep getting bigger and bigger. Those were massive.
And that Jeep, did you see that last time that big wave hit? It's only a matter of time before it either goes out or comes back off of shore.
If you're the owner of that Jeep or you were the person driving that, I want to talk to you. You know how to get a hold of me.
Right.
We have an interview to do. Yes, my friend actually sent me that picture at 10 o'clock this morning, and it really has become a talking point of this hurricane.
All right, Kate, well, a number of traffic light defects are still plaguing areas in the Grand Strand.
Including on Dig Pond Road at Highway 544 and Socastee Boulevard and Forest Brook Road.
Also on US 501 on Cox Ferry Road and Singleton Ridge Road. Now, DOT is also working to clear a tree in the roadway. That's on Daffodil Drive.
We're going to take a look at Highway 501 at Carolina Forest Boulevard. We're going to pull that up here for you now. There it is. You have one car right there, but you can see those traffic lights just swaying. But the good news there, it does look like that traffic light is not blinking, so it might actually be working.
Yeah, that's good news. Also, it's good news that you're looking at 501 at Carolina Forest Boulevard, which is a very, very busy intersection there, and we don't see a lot of traffic or cars on that roadway at all, and that's what we like to see as we continue to get this system out of our area. There's one truck there. There's a couple coming on just as I said that, but for the most part, it is definitely lighter traffic, which is great news. A lot of rain still coming down. The wind is still coming down. We're not through just yet, but we are starting to see light at the end of the tunnel.
And good news here, we're going to switch from traffic to the Marsh Walk. I am someone who frequents the Marsh Walk, so I've been excited to get a first look from our reporter Casey Watson after we saw that video now that's been a few hours ago of water just inundating the Marsh Walk there.
Yeah, what's the situation out there now, Casey? We're on the beach in Myrtle Beach, possibly checking out that Jeep for whatever reason. Police officers finally at that 36th and 37th Avenue area at Myrtle Beach right there at the ocean, they were giving people tickets for being there when they were not supposed to be there.
They were, because it could be dangerous, and the ocean is unpredictable, just as any storm. And you didn't know how far a wave was going to come in there. And they were getting pretty close to the water there because they were all getting on top of the Jeep, taking pictures, because it did become a tourist attraction
until
for
they
a little bit.
tickets, right?
Until they started getting tickets.
Which is what we were waiting to see. We have our team of reporters really out across the entire viewing area.
Best place to be watching it from is the safety of your own home.
Absolutely. Get to some safer ground here.
And that's an example right now of when we keep saying the storm is still not over, even though we've kind of breathed a sigh of relief here. It looks pretty, lots of wind going on, lots of rain going on. It was pretty dark out there where Aaron is right now. Now we have some new video in from Georgetown. Robert just told us this is the floating island, and we want to see it, so let's pull it up.
Yeah, an island of trees?
An island of trees.
Let's see this. Oh, I guess, oh, you see it in the background there.
Oh, it's moving.
Yeah, those trees.
Oh, my
boy. Okay, so that is.
You don't see that every day.
And that's in Georgetown.
That's going on in Georgetown. The water there moving an island of trees.
It looks pretty peaceful from the forefront, though, doesn't it?
You know what? It
the tire
does.
swings and yeah, so you see the lake behind you. Okay, you know what else is some good news if you want to be optimistic about this whole situation? Just imagine how green that grass is going to be tomorrow.
That is something you would say, wouldn't you? It's also going to grow a little faster now, right?
Say, yeah.
So everyone's going to have to be mowing by next weekend.
Go, which I love to do.
Now let's head up the coast. Now we're going to go to Cherry Grove. We have a picture on 45th Avenue North.
Yeah, this is all the flooding, right?
Yes, this is no flooding tree, no floating trees there from the flooding. That's moving pretty fast.
There you go. But this is all due to the storm surge. So you see that flooding there. Surf City, North Carolina.
Yeah, that's where we find Gray Media's Anna Phillips, where she says the waves there are crashing on top of each other, something that we've been seeing here throughout the day.
Yeah.
we have a few minutes to talk. That Jeep belongs in a museum. I wonder if Myrtle Beach Museum is going to pick that sucker up.
I think, like so many people, I'm just wondering what the story is behind that Jeep.
If you are out there and that is your Jeep, we can do an anonymous interview.
Right.
We want to know the story behind it. We'll just film your hands, we'll film your shadow, whatever.
All
we
right.
want to know.
Now, let me tell you, we also want to know what's going on in your neighborhood. So when it is safe to do so, if it's not safe, don't do it yet. But when it is, go outside unless it is definitely okay and the conditions warrant it for you to be out there. But we'd love to see some videos, some pictures. You can send it to us, you can tweet us, you can send it to us on Facebook, you can email us. We'd love to share it on the air and show some of the viewers what's going on in some of the other areas and other neighborhoods in our viewing area.
Yeah, and it helps us keep our newscast fresh for you guys at home. So if you live in Surfside Beach and you have family in Florence, or you have family in North Myrtle Beach and you want to know what's going on up there besides maybe just their street, then you can know. And also, we get a lot of viewers from the northern states. I want to take you up to North Carolina. We're going to take a live look at that frying pan camera out in the middle of the ocean there. Wow, that is some rough seas.
It's always a good gauge to tell us exactly what we're looking at. And, you know, during Hurricane Florence, that flag was reduced to pretty much tatter.
Forgot about
that.
that.
You remember that?
Yeah, that was tough to watch.
So now it's staying.
Have also placed a ban on swimming in the ocean for the safety of first responders. Really everyone involved. You can look at the bottom of our screen now. No one needs to be swimming in there.
Absolutely not. Robeson County is also issuing a curfew. It starts
now, guess what we haven't done in a while?
Uh-oh, the Jeep is back.
The Jeep, that red Jeep, oh, it's being pushed inward. There's that Jeep. It is not being pulled outward. Patrick Lloyd has been there for hours now. We first got that picture in here at WMBF News at 10 o'clock this morning when the waves were not that crazy out at the time. And they've slowly come in toward the beach and they've kind of gone back out some. We've seen that Jeep just being tossed around there. People came out. It became a tourist attraction. And then, as we know, that the police chased him away.
It really has gone national now. I think a lot of different national outlets have been talking about this Jeep.
And that's Aaron Ladd there saying that the flooding is about ankle deep and that he spoke with some people who live in the area and said that they were not expecting flooding like this. I don't think that that is something that usually happens there.
No, not at all. I know they've had a lot of problems with roads in that neighborhood.
It has been through it. We lost it in Hurricane Matthew, and the rebuilding has begun. You can even see it right there along the pier. And this is a popular locals hangout, too. Speaking of having fun on the weekend and good weather that we hope to have this weekend, which I think we are having.
Imagine what the picture is going to look like on Friday. That'll be different
totally
from here, right?
different. All the Myrtle Beach people saying, was there a hurricane here 2 days ago?
But
really?
but right now, this is the last place you want to be because you can see, boy, the waves are up. The surge has brought the water so close, which has a problem for erosion, is a problem for the dunes. We just want to get through this and let the water recede and get us back to a safe area before we even think about going to the beach.
Absolutely, and we'll continue to keep you updated. That's Ian Klein with that live shot there of Springmaid Pier in Myrtle Beach. Now we're going to go down to Garden City where we're going to find Samantha Coomer there.
Yeah, the wind's picking up there, Sam.
Good evening.
But for now, we'll send it back to you, and of course, we'll keep an eye on things out here outside of the studio.
And you know, one thing we talk about every hurricane, our sign, our WMBF News sign out front gets twisted or tilted
Sometimes
a little bit.
it likes to take a spin.
It took a spin, yeah, last year. And this year, so far so good, I believe.
Did you park by it?
No, I stayed clear of that sign.
So did I. Are we going to go back to Patrick Lloyd?